We are the New York Knicks. We are the
Randall puts up a three. Bang! Bang! Randall knocks down the three.
Say go New York, ding bong. Go New York, go.
Here's Quickly. Splash! My goodness!
Look who's back in the mix, straight out of New York City. It's the Red Hot Knicks.
Quickly flings it ahead. Hard to touch pass. That is beautiful.
No, KD, don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Let's go, Knicks!
Morris drives, blocked by Robinson. Oh, what a rejection. R.J. Barrett ahead. Here's Obi Toppin. Look out. Oh, a Christmas Day gift for the legs.
Merry Christmas. Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks!
This is WHPC Sports Talk.
What I tell y'all last week? The Knicks had a 7-game winning streak. I said, don't let them win in Miami. Don't let them win against a healthy Boston team with Jaylen Brown. Since Celtics fans wanted to cry, oh, you beat us without Jaylen Brown. You beat us without Jaylen Brown. Now look at y'all. Bing bong. Welcome to the Monday edition of WHPC Sports Talk here on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. It is Joshua Umahi, once again as your host, joined by Frantz Compere and Ross Levine, fellow Knicks fans. Man, how are we feeling after that weekend?
Yo, I'm feeling great. We're putting belt to cheeks, bro.
Man, it's not even funny no more.
It's serious, too. Like, the beatings we're putting on these teams is serious, too. Not necessarily, like, blowing them out, but we showed Miami and we showed Boston in the double OT that we ain't nothing to play with.
Nope.
With no JB either.
Ooh, that's the, you know what? We're going to get to it.
We're going to
get to it. Trust me. But Ross Levine, how we doing?
This Knicks team is for real. They are for real. I should have had a Knicks jersey on today. That is how much they have wowed me. They've changed my mind about this team. I was always pessimistic.
Yeah.
This team's for real.
They for real.
They really are.
The Ross stamp of approval.
They are.
Right? Ross is giving them props?
They are. They deserve it 9 in a row. They deserve it.
Yo, we would see Jesus walk on water before hearing Ross give the Knicks props.
Man, listen, that's the type of impression the Knicks are leaving on everybody. What kind of impression they're leaving on you, the listeners, the fans? 516-572-7440. Knicks fans, I need to hear from you today. It ain't no want. I need to hear from you today. What's the feeling? What's the vibes? Is they immaculate? Because they're immaculate in the studio right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Whew, man, listen, let's just jump right into it. So on Friday, we last left this Knicks team. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They had just beat down the Brooklyn Nets. Absolutely crushed them, like Frantz said, belt to cheeks on the Brooklyn Nets. Mm-hmm. We were feeling so good, but the question this weekend was a tough road trip. You have Miami, and then you have Boston. Miami was going to be a tough game, but that's where we'll start. Obviously, the Knicks won in Miami 122-120 on Julius Randle's, or as I like to call him, Stefulius Carandle, baby. 8 threes in Miami. Hit the game winner over Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. You heard it earlier in that intro. Great work by Justin Greenberg, by the way, earlier in the studio. Man, Randle got it done. Jalen Brunson toughed out another injury, injured his left foot in the fourth quarter in Miami, came back, finished the game. Emmanuel Quickly, who we will get to later, for that masterclass in Boston last night, but 21 points off the bench in Miami. And if you want to talk about what I called the best win of the season before last night, it wasn't just the fact that, it looked like they were going to blow the lead, and obviously, you know, it was looking kind of shaky with Julius in that last possession. He was kind of fumbling the ball and dribbling it off his foot, and Jimmy Butler was all over him, but Julius Randle had never hit a game winner in his Knicks career or his NBA career. That was the big hurdle he needed to get over. Obviously, he was bad in the clutch in the playoffs against Atlanta 2 years ago. It wasn't just that the Knicks held on and won in Miami against a tough Miami team with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero when he's making shots, but he finally hit that game winner. He finally came through in the clutch when the team needed him most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Randle hit 8 threes against the Miami Heat. 8 threes. So, he won this game. This was the Julius Randle game. Let's be honest. I'm not saying he hasn't been good this year. He's been great. He's an all-star for a reason. But what I appreciate is the fact that he stuck with the three-point shooting that he struggled with a year ago. And he struggled even at the start of the year a little bit too. And they told him, Julius Randle, to keep shooting the three. And what did he do? He shoots the three, and he's making all the threes. And which is what we all gave him a lot of criticism last year. He's defending. He may not be the best defensive player. I don't think he is, but he's competing.
Yeah.
He's not dogging it on defense. Yeah. And that's what I give him credit for.
You make some great points, Ross. And when you look at Julius Randle's three-point shooting too, it's not like he's coming out there and he's shooting 3 threes a game.
No.
He's launching that thing multiple times, and he's making a big percentage of them. So that's why you have to give him his props. He'll come out there and he'll shoot like 8 threes. He'll make 5 of them. That's a good 15 points right there. Some players can't even score 15 in a single game. They might do it once every 6 games. And he's doing that just in the first quarter. Man. Like, Julius Randle has improved tremendously. And this team has improved tremendously as well. Like, I don't even know. I'm high on life right now. Like, I'm happy to be a Knicks fan, yo. They're finally showing some consistency, because in the beginning of the season, like, that's the word that you would never hear in a Knicks sentence was consistency. You know what I'm saying? And when I was watching First Take, where Kendrick Perkins was giving Stephen A. 50, and they had him up. They had something plastered up on the screen where it said, on this 9-game winning streak, I'm going to read it off right now. Points per game, Knicks score 124.3 points per game on this 9-game winning streak, which was 3rd in the NBA in like last 10 games or 9-game span. And then field goal percentage, 51%. So we're scoring 124 points a game, but we're also doing very efficiently. And then we're holding opponents to 111 points per game, which is great defense. You know, that's top 10 in the last 10 games out of all NBA teams. And then opponent field goal percentage is 45%. So we're scoring at an efficient rate 6% more than our opponents. And we're outscoring our opponents 13 points a game. Like, you can't ask for anything more from this team. Like, they're doing it all, and I'm super proud of where this team has came.
Man, drop a bomb for Julius Randle. Because this man, before we get to the obvious game we got to talk about in Boston last night, this man, Julius Randle, is one of the best New York sports success stories I've seen in my life. Because this man, Ross knows me last year, I was tearing this man apart. Julius Randle, get him out. He can't play no more. The All-NBA year was fake. The All-Star year was fake. You get this clown out of here. He's giving the thumbs down to the Knicks crowd. I wanted him gone. Same thing. Tom Thibodeau, same thing. The fact that this man said, I'm going to get in the lab, not just work on my physical game, but get my mental right. He meditates all the time, before games, after games, halftime, before. He shoots big free throws. Like, Julius Randle, not many guys have the character in this city. How many guys do we see come to New York City, whether it's the Yankees, Mets, any team you want to talk about, Giants, Jets, who we're going to get to later, and just fall apart under the pressure, and once they fall apart, they can't get it back.
Yeah.
Julius Randle, 4 years as a Knick. First year wasn't great. Second year, all-world. Last year, awful, terrible. The Beyblade stuff spinning around. He did some more of that last night, which kind of got him in trouble. And everything else, the bad attitude and giving the thumbs down to the fans, like I said, just... You're not supposed to come back from that in this city. When New York sports fans bury you, it's over for you, typically. Yeah. How many guys have we seen in New York City just takes them in and then spits them out like garbage? Julius Randle came in, showed his character, showed his promise, and said, I'm going to turn it around for Knicks fans. He called Knicks fans the best fans in the world earlier this year. Knicks fans giving him MVP chance. Julius Randle is one of the greatest New York sports success stories I've ever seen. You can put A-Rod on that list. Obviously, went through a lot with the Jeter drama and then won a championship in 2009. Should have won World Series MVP in my opinion, but shout out Hideki Matsui. Eli Manning. Do you remember what New York sports fans thought of Eli Manning before he won those 2 Super Bowls? Man, they thought it was all in the name. It's just, if he wasn't a Manning, where would he really be?
Yeah.
Shut all that stuff up. 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Julius Randle, I know he hasn't had the playoff success that those two have had, but you got to put him on that short list of New York sports success stories. Because what this man's done this year, incredible.
Yeah.
Complete turnaround.
I mean, the way I look at it is just the fact you can tell when the ball's in his hand, and obviously, look, he's always going to have. Is it ever going to be perfect in the sense of not turn the ball over? He's going to have a few turns a game, but he's going to make up that. That's the thing. That's not every player does that anymore. I mean, usually when you turn the ball over, you don't have the mental aspect of getting that back, or trying to trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
And Julius Randle has done that. So even against the Celtics, where he did force turnovers, or he had some spin moves, he got into trouble with that, you know what? He made shots. That's the thing. He made shots, and he competed defensively. So, yeah, if he was turning the ball over and wasn't competing defensively, yeah, not great. But he's defending this year. So I got to give him that. And the Heat game, when after he had the awful turnover, but to give the Heat the lead, he came back.
Yep.
He came back. When do you ever see a player do that? So after the ball almost went out of bounds, he comes back and he gets a three. And it's pretty incredible. And honestly, another player I gotta give credit to, I always hate on this guy. The last two games, Barrett. I've seen it a few times now against the Celtics and against the Heat. I think more so maybe against the Heat, but it's close. I mean, the Celtics was a longer game. When I saw him drive to get the baskets, that's all I need to see. When I see those little plays, like, why can't you just do that?
Yeah.
Just do that. I don't need you to shoot.
Yeah, but you make a great point. He started getting his little finishes at the basket, which then opened up the three-point line for Barrett, because we see that he wasn't afraid to shoot that three during the Boston game.
No.
He let a couple fly, but it's because he did his damage inside, which then opened up the extended game for him. But you guys made great points about Randle, and Josh, you made a solid one about the mental, because that's what it takes to play any sport in general, not even just in New York. You know what I'm saying? So he has it even worse. He has to play one of the most popular sports, most popular sport in New York, in front of the toughest crowd, and he got his mental right, and he did his thing. Like, it's a lot. Like, we see it. Shoot, Dennis Schroeder the other day in a game a couple weeks ago threw a turnover to AD. They didn't get back on defense because his mental's messed up. Even in a local Nassau game, we seen it where against QCC, their star player throws a turnover, doesn't get back on defense. She's frustrated. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a lot to stay mentally locked into a game. So imagine doing it against like some of the best players in the league, and Julius Randle he's doing that. He's staying mentally locked in against the toughest teams, toughest opponents, and look, it's transitioned into a 9-game win streak for this New York Knicks organization.
Beautiful. Well said, Frantz. And obviously, 516-572-7440. Knicks fans, I haven't heard from you yet. Where you at? I know you got some thoughts. I know you hyped up about the Knicks right now. Let's get to the main event, obviously, last night. What a game this was.
That's a classic.
Double overtime, Ross. Knicks beat the Celtics in Boston. Mind you, we beat the brakes off them at the Garden. But like I said in the open, Celtics fans were like, Jaylen Brown, though. We have Jaylen Brown. What's going to happen when we have Jaylen Brown?
Knicks W.
Yeah, 131-129 in double overtime. We're going to drop a bomb for Emmanuel quickly.
Yo, drop three.
Yeah. Because this man, as I like to call him, Emmanuel quickly. Or as Jalen Brunson likes to call him, Himbo Fisher. You can go Himmy Fallon. You can go Him Hortons. I see you, Jalen, on Twitter. Obviously, Brunson didn't play, but Emmanuel quickly stepped right in. 55 minutes. Tibbs is a war criminal, but it's all good. It's all good. 38 points, efficient shooting, 15-28, 5 threes, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover in those 55 minutes. You could not play a more perfect game. You could not have a more perfect game from your backup point guard than Emmanuel quickly gave Knicks fans last night.
You couldn't. And shoot, right from tip-off, the deep three, he kind of set the tone. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I sagged off. Not even. He just pulled up from super deep. He set the tone for the rest of the game. Like, and he was getting it done from extended range, and he was getting inside. He wasn't scared to finish. Shoot, he threw down a 2-hand jam.
Yo,
when I seen that, I was like, no. Quickly really did that? He was like, let me just remind y'all, like, I could get it done inside. He had himself a couple and ones. He was just doing it all.
And when I watched that whole game, throughout the whole game, but like especially the overtimes in the fourth quarter, and quickly every time he scores, like, this guy doesn't want to lose this game.
Yeah,
he doesn't. I mean, he did everything to win the game. I mean, he's doing a layup, like behind the layup, where it hits every part of the rim and goes in the net, and that was incredible. So that's number one, and number two, like, even when they were up 11, like after they came back from being down 14, even though Boston tied it, I still felt okay, like, in a way where it didn't feel like the Knicks gave that lead away. It was more so Boston took it. That's what it felt like to me in that situation. The only thing that bothered me the entire game, out in the long game that it was the last minute. That was it. Outside of that, nothing really bothered me in the game. I mean, it was a game of runs. That's really what it was. There was no such thing as a safe lead by any team. And once they got through the first overtime, where the Knicks looked like a little out of gas, I felt they're going to win, because Boston had the chance to win the first overtime.
Yes.
Yeah, and once they did, I was like, that's going to give the Knicks life. You got to think. So that's why I had a feeling they were going to win, and also because Boston didn't have Williams and Brogdon, I'm pretty sure. So I think that was going to rear its ugly head at some point.
Shoot, I'd be lying to you guys if I said I wasn't scared, because at the end of...
I was scared, but I was more confident the second overtime than the first.
Yeah, at the end of the first overtime, Tatum had that good look to win it, and he baited. And then at the end of second overtime, Horford had a decent look, and he baited. He knew from the release, like, it's off, but... Shoot, that's Mitchell Robinson for you. All 7-1 of him. He just got both hands up, the long wingspan. It threw Horford off just enough for us to come out with this W. But yeah, that win was all about grit. Like, when the Celtics came back and took the lead, shoot, I'm shook at this point. But watching the game as it progressed and seeing how the Knicks came back, it's just like, wow, you guys really, like, you guys have edge to you now. You're not that same team in the beginning of the year. Like, you just let the opponent. You didn't let the opponent put belted cheeks. They were putting the belted cheeks, but then you turned around and you said, I'm not surrendering these cheeks. You stood up for your cheeks and you grabbed that belt from the little leprechaun and you said, turn around, leprechaun, and you put the belt to their cheeks.
Whoop-ah!
Whoop-ah! Oh, man, that was a great Knicks win. I'm excited, yeah. I don't even know what to say anymore. You guys get the gist. I feel great.
Man, listen, Frantz, you put it perfectly. The Knicks took the belt right from the Celtics and said, you want some of this? we tired of you just giving it to us. We can inflict some punishment, too.
Yeah.
And obviously, you look at Julius Randle, or Stefulius Carandle, 5 more threes in Boston. He was hitting tough step backs over Grant Williams. I was like, yo, is this Kyrie Irving and Julius Randle's spot? What's going on? And then you had R.J. Barrett, obviously, like Ross said. We've killed this kid on this show, but the second Jalen Brunson went down, and we talked about it. For R.J. Barrett, a number 3 overall pick, obviously it's a tough situation to be the third option when you need the ball a lot to be successful. That's his game. He needs the ball in his hands. So when Jalen Brunson was announced that he was out with the sore left foot he suffered in Miami, I was like, okay, R.J., what you got? That was my first reaction. RJ, what you got tonight? It's a great opportunity. You can be the hero. You can go into Boston, help the Knicks get a big W. And he delivered. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 10 of 22 from the floor. Not the most efficient shooting night, but without Jalen Brunson, he's a volume scorer. 29 points. The Knicks needed every bit of that. And obviously on the Boston side, Jason Tatum, who we said last week, Frantz, he quit on the Garden floor. He said, I'm tired of Josh Hart bullying me, and I'm tired of, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes all over me. Give me a tech, ref. I'm out. I'll see y'all in Boston. It's going to be different in Boston. That's what Jason Tatum was thinking. Comes back. He had his little 40 points.
Yeah.
12 of 30. And did you see his shot chart?
Yeah, he missed like 11 threes, something like that.
He missed 11 threes.
Oh my God. Wow.
He did not take one single mid-range shot. So you're going to tell me the Kobe Bryant disciple didn't take not one mid-range shot?
And what upsets me most is when you watch this game back and you watch the film, when Tatum was driving to the basket, he was mixing people up and he was actually getting there. But he strayed away from it because I don't know what's going on in his mind. Maybe he just feels like maybe he felt like Emmanuel Quickly's putting on a showcase. Let me show him who's the real boss of the TD Garden. Nah, bro, I'm sorry, you're not him. That's him Hortons, you know what I'm saying? So you got to stick to your game. Like, I feel like if Tatum just stuck to what was working for him and get into the basket, because I do think he was having a good game around the basket, but nah. But then again, they say shoot or shoot, so. But listen, if you're going to live by the 3, you're going to die by it too, because look what happened. You guys lost by 2 and you missed 11 threes, so now it looks terrible on your part, so.
And Jason, I don't know, Mr. Jason Tatum, you do got another superstar on your team. Why don't you let Jaylen Brown get a few of those shots? He had a more efficient shooting night.
Yo, I don't know. Was it on the show we were talking about this, or I might have been talking about this outside of the show? But no, I think it was on the show. Like Jaylen Brown soon hits the free agency market in a couple years, right? In a couple years, Jaylen Brown's hitting that free agency market. What do you think? You got any thoughts on that? I know it's like far. And it's like kind of early to make a prediction because he still has 2 more years in Boston.
Future Nick.
Yes.
Future Nick, yeah.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, future Nick, yeah.
Ross took the words right out of my mouth. Think about it. And that's the beautiful thing about where the Knicks are at. They are a winning organization now. They're 11 games over 500.
12
now. They've established a winning culture with Tom Thibodeau. So if you're a star player on the market, you're looking at the pieces are already in place. You have your point guard in Jalen Brunson. You have your number 2 in Julius Randle. You have a star player off the bench in Emmanuel Quickly, and you have the bench already pretty much set with young talent. If you're Jaylen Brown, or if you're Donovan Mitchell in 2025, Knicks could still get him in free agency, even though Stephen A. Smith wants to cry about not getting him in trade. I get it. But it's over and done with.
It's over, yeah.
Listen, if you're one of those star players like a Jaylen Brown, and you're looking at the Celtics like, I'm never going to get the love here because everyone thinks, I don't know if it's true, but most NBA casuals think Jason Tatum is the man, that clear number 1 on that team. If you're a Jaylen Brown, you got to be looking at it like, hold up, I couldn't be doing what Tatum's doing with more usage?
Yeah.
Because Jaylen Brown's a damn good player.
He is.
And you have the appeal of Madison Square Garden with a winning organization, and the fans are just... let me tell you something. The one superstar player the Knicks get, Knicks fans are going to fall in love with that guy because you chose us. You could have chose the Lakers. You could have demanded a trade somewhere else. Nope, you chose the Knicks. You chose this fan base. You chose Madison Square Garden. And if you're a superstar player, there's so much appeal in that, especially if you're entering your prime and you have already a set team and you can win with. Ross is right. I think Jaylen Brown's really got to be considering being the Knick in 2024. And also, mind you, he's not too happy that the Celtics put him in those Kevin Durant trade rumors. Yeah. That was a thing, too. He was kind of subtweeting and kind of in his feelings about it. That could be a possibility, too. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm a psychic or whatever, but 2024 free agency, keep your eyes on Jaylen Brown. I guarantee you there's going to be rumors. If he doesn't sign that extension this summer, which I don't think he will, the Knicks rumors, everybody's going to be drumming it up, and I think it's a real possibility.
It makes complete sense because when you look at a team like the Knicks, it's like we could say Julius Randle's the number 1, but I feel like you got to throw a little asterisk because it's like Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, 1A, 1B. Or it might be 1A, 1AA. Like I don't even know who you could give the B spot to because it's kind of like both of them are killing every single night. And then it's not like it's just all of them because then you got your 6th man coming in. He giving you like 20 a game. It's not going to say that in the average, but really he's scoring 20 every time he comes off the bench. So that could appeal to a superstar because although you have great players like Brunson and Randle, and hopefully RJ could get back to his old form, although you have those players, everybody finds a way to equally eat, and it leads in a W. So if you're a superstar, you're like, okay, I could fit in that. I could still put up my numbers, and we could all equally eat.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even like. I think we do at some point are gonna need that superstar, like at some point, but we have guys that are capable of being stars. That's the one thing you can't say about this team. Jalen Brunson's a star. Maybe star. He's a star player. Julius Randle's a star player. Emmanuel Cole was becoming a star player or as like a third option. So like even though they didn't get Mitchell, and it's still kind of a shame because Mitchell would, I think, put this team a little more over the top. It doesn't mean that you can't get any superstar. Just because you didn't get Mitchell, that doesn't mean you can't get anybody. And maybe Jaylen Brown fits better. Yeah, like as good as these players may be on the back of the jersey, you don't know how they fit. I mean, you don't know if Mitchell. I think Mitchell would have fit here, but you don't know. I mean, you really don't know. And maybe Jaylen Brown or another superstar fits better than Mitchell. You really don't know. It's very possible. And but this is why they're in a good situation right now, because they're doing this without a true superstar, and they're, instead of going down and team free agents probably not want to come here, now they do want to come here because of the young talent.
Yeah, and it's good that you make that point about you don't know if Mitchell would have fit, because on First Take, Kendrick Perkins kind of said, not that he doesn't fit in Cleveland, but he said how he's watched Darius Garland take a backseat to a superstar when Darius Garland is one of the best point guards in the league, young talent. And shoot, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are holding it down on the defensive end, but they're not getting no love on the offensive end because Donovan Mitchell is that guy who's taking a lot of the shots, so is discouraging the team around him. But they're still finding success. But Kendrick Perkins' argument was that it's kind of like there would be even more success if they found a way to work everybody in the system and keep everybody happy. But it's kind of hard to do that with a guy like Donovan Mitchell. Not that anything is wrong with him. He's a bad player. No. He gets it done. Yeah. It's just that the way he gets it done might not be what everybody wants, you know?
Y'all both bring up great points. And what I would add on to that is we don't know if Jalen Brunson would be averaging 24 points per game if Donovan Mitchell was on the roster. Yeah. We don't know if Julius Randle would be having this bounce-back season as a number one option if Donovan Mitchell was on the roster. I think it could actually work out to be a good thing that Donovan Mitchell, we didn't make the trade for him. And it sounds crazy to say that, but you let Brunson develop. You let Randle kind of find his game again, more usage, more opportunities. Julius Randle's capitalized. RJ Barrett's kind of the last piece, but if he can, over the last 18, 17 games, however many games the Knicks have left, if he can find his game, then we're cooking. We're cooking.
I never thought you would. I mean, let's put it this way. Like, Donovan Mitchell would have been a great player if he was here. Let's be honest. Like, there's no doubt like he would have been an upgrade. Like obviously the way Barrett looked for most of the year, you'd rather have Donovan Mitchell, like, of course, no question. Yeah. But like, you don't know, like, in any sport you play, you could have a ton of stars. You don't know how they fit. I mean, look at the Nets. I mean, like Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Yeah, they didn't play much, and that's obviously the big part of it. But you don't know. I mean, you don't know how much they really were going to fully fit. I mean, that's a big thing. So like, and they didn't win anything. So just because you have the stars, that does not guarantee you a automatic championship. Doesn't work that way. That's you gotta build it properly. And honestly, I know he also gets a lot of heat, but Tom Thibodeau's making the right buttons too. He's pushing the right buttons also. You gotta give him some credit too. I mean, I said this when the Knicks were 10-13. I was like, watch out, Tom. You might be gone. So he's turned around, and ever since he went to the 9-man rotation, they're like 13 games above 500 since then. Yeah. So he adjusted.
I was just about to say that because ever since he shortened up that rotation, our team has become a better defensive team and even a better, tremendously better offensive team, as we could see with the numbers that Julius and Brunson are putting up, and quickly. Like, at first, I couldn't see the vision. But that's why I'm not an NBA coach. I'm just a fan. But Tom seen the vision, and Tom got it done, especially with Josh Hart in there. He found a way to get him in the rotation quickly, and he's executing whatever the Knicks plan is behind the scenes. So salute to Tom and Josh Hart picking it up, hitting the ground running and banging out 9 wins. Like, we're still undefeated with Josh Hart. Hopefully we could continue this. I don't mean to jinx it, but...
I mean, there's no jinxing now. If anything, I thought I jinxed it when Obviously, the Knicks were going into this weekend, and obviously the Celtics came back and tied the game against them. I'm like, oh, man, I messed it up. I said, I'm about to start talking ignorant. Once they hold on to this, and then they got tied up, I was like, oh, no. Oh.
By the way, if the Knicks, when they were down by 14 and things were kind of going sideways, because remember, Julius Randle was like right in the grill of the official, and it looked like things were going to go sideways. If the Knicks, let's say, they lost by 7, they lost by 7 or 8 points in regulation, but they fought, I wouldn't have been mad even if they lost like that way. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have been mad. Like, without Jalen Brunson, they went toe-to-toe with the best team. I wouldn't have been mad at all. Like, those to me are good losses, honestly. I know there's not a lot of good losses. Those to me are good losses after a while. You won, and we won them. We don't even have to worry about that because we won the game.
Incredible stuff from the New York Knicks. They're now 9-0, like Frantz said, since the arrival of Josh Hart after the trade deadline. They are now just 1 game back of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell's Cleveland Cavaliers for the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. And once again, Emmanuel Quickley. Y'all heard that? Emmanuel Quickley. Now the betting favorite on FanDuel for the 6th Man of the Year award. And that would be a great accomplishment for that kid who, again, he was another one of those guys who, a young, talented guy on this team who Knicks fans were kind of unsure on. Great scorer, good for a few highlights, but he's kind of inefficient. Can he be a starting guard in this league? We don't know, but 38-point masterclass in Boston definitely turned a lot of heads around the NBA. And obviously, Josh Hart, we talk about players on contending teams. Think about every NBA team that's a contender. The Warriors obviously have Draymond Green. The Bucks have Jay Crowder and Bobby Portis. The Nuggets have Bruce Brown and guys like that. You need guys that obviously you're going to have the superstars on contending teams, but you got to have guys that are going to do the dirty work. Mm-hmm. You got to have guys that are going to fight for loose balls. Who knows what they're going to give you on any given night? 10 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks, assists, 3s. Josh Hart, you don't know how it's going to happen, but you know he's going to impact the game in some way. And it's beautiful that the Knicks finally have a player like that.
Yeah, I mean he's exactly what Knicks fans want when he came to the Knicks. Exactly what it is, where he steals it, he's fast, he'll block a 3-point shot. I mean, at times he made a huge shot in that overtime.
Yep, the corner three.
That's when things were falling apart.
Yep.
I mean, if you really think about it, they were on like a 10-0 run, Boston, including the regulation, because Boston started with that open 3 in the overtime. It was like that's when I was like, is the air coming out of the balloon a little bit? And he got that 3 where it settled the game back down for the Knicks. And that's another thing Hart has. He can shoot. That's another guy that can shoot. How many times on this team over the years where it's like a guy shoots and you know they're not making it? They have guys on this team that actually can make shots. That's why they're winning games. It's simple as that. Like, you look at this, even during the bubble when they made it to the 4th seed, they weren't great shooters. Mm-hmm. They really weren't. They got lucky.
They were just happy to be there.
They were happy to be there. They had a great defensive team that year, but they also, remember, that year they took advantage of a terrible Eastern Conference that year. They were very good defensively, but it was a COVID year. You didn't know. This is better than that team. That's number one, and they're a way better offensive team, and it's not even close. And Julius Randle is doing better than that year. You can make the argument, and you can make an argument that these guys have gotten better as they've lasted longer in the league than what they have. Quickly's a better player than what he was then. You can make an argument. I mean, Barrett, it's hit or miss, but you can make it. But the Knicks have a better rounded team. They have a point guard. That team had Elfrid Payton on that team. They had Jalen Brunson on this team. That's a big difference.
Alfred, it's funny you bring that up because that's absolutely true. For every, I gotta say it, nut-hugging Knicks hater that wants to be like, the Knicks are getting hyped up for their little 4th or 5th seed again. We know what happened the last time. It's
a better team.
You telling me Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock are on the same tier as Emmanuel Quickley and Jalen Brunson as supporting pieces? Man, stop.
Bro,
stop.
I'm so glad you bring that up because I'm tired of the disrespect, yo. Like, anybody outside of Knicks Nation just doesn't want to give us our props. They don't want to give us props at all. And it's upsetting because what more do you want from us? Women lie, men lie, but numbers don't. The numbers don't, and we're putting up the numbers. The numbers are matching our record. Please, just stop hating. We were once a team that couldn't win at home. Now look at us.
Yup.
What? You don't want to give us our props then? I'm telling you, like, fan bases don't want to give us our props. Media outlets don't want to give us our props. Of course, you find them here and there, but I just don't think it's enough for what we deserve right now because we bounced back ever since that trade deadline. Shoot, we've been doing our thing, so I just feel very disrespected.
The only thing that game missed was Mike Breen calling that game. That's it. Done. That was it. Done. I mean, nothing against Ryan Ruocco. He did a good job. But Mike Breen.
Yeah, no, you're right. Ooh, if Mike and my guy Clyde Frazier was on the call,
that would have been the best.
And you know, Mike recently just inducted Julius into history with the double bang. The double bang. So that would have been a great call of a game by Mike. I know it would have.
Unbelievable. Just the New York Knicks. And I got to shout out Cam Reddish, obviously, too. We traded him in the Josh Hart trade, and he's averaging 14 points, 48% from the field in Portland. Playing good basketball, but it just wasn't a fit. Josh Hart is a perfect fit on this team because they're trying to win, and on a team that doesn't have a lot of good, solid role players that are willing to do the dirty work, he's done everything Knicks fans could have possibly asked for. It's a beautiful thing.
You could make an argument all the like Jalen Brunson on the team, Josh Hart on the team. Like, you could make Julius Randle even, like, I know the contract, like, we gave him, but you could make an argument that these guys are, like, bargains. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, a lot of these guys were bargains. I mean, Julius Randle, you can make a case. I know Julius Randle, like, in the time we signed him, was like, not who we wanted. That was a great constellation prize.
Man, listen, y'all are just... Y'all bringing it today. Because I'm happy Ross brought that up because everybody was saying, and not to pat myself on the back, but I love to do that sometimes. Jalen Brunson, he's overpaid. Why did the Knicks another garbage signing, another overpay? Jalen Brunson is now the biggest bargain at the point guard position in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So all y'all that wanted to say overpay, worry about your little Kyle Lowry with the Heat, worry about your little Spencer Dinwiddie with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't want to hear it with Jalen Brunson. Y'all were wrong. Y'all wanted to hate on the Knicks because it was cool. It was the trendy thing to do. You're afraid to think for yourself. All that. Listen, the Knicks are here, and we loving it, and Knicks fans are definitely going to get some revenge on y'all if they keep it up.
Listen, I was skeptical. I'm like 26. I was skeptical, but I said, you know what? I wasn't in that office making the deal. I got full faith in my guy, JB. And I promise you that because I have a video from July 1st in the middle of my workout. Couple Knicks haters decide to come upset me. I said, on God, sorry to my religious people out there, on God, Jalen Brunson is leading this Knicks team as a starting point guard to the playoffs. And I'm going to play it. When we get to the playoffs, I'm going to play it for you. I'm not even going to back it out just yet. I'm going to show Josh and this camera the date, Facebook Live, so y'all can see. I said, you know what, 26, it's okay. I believe in him. He's leading us to the playoffs.
Man, listen, I argue with Corey David. I argue with Gina somewhere. I don't want to throw strays, but they were telling me, Jalen Brunson's not the answer. But, do y'all think I don't know ball? I'm telling you, Jalen Brunson's the answer. Watch. Just watch. Watch what happens when the season starts. And all that guy's shown us, and obviously I hope he gets healthy soon. Hopefully tomorrow night against Charlotte. That's the next game. But,
man, it's insane. And also, I love seeing the Mavericks just lose and they just blow these leads. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's great.
Kyrie wasn't so peaceful at the end of regulation. He was beefing with D-Book.
He wasn't too sage.
Wide open hook layup by Doncic, in and out. Oh, my God. Great.
Hey, like you said, let's move on from the Knicks and get to some other happenings this weekend as well. But let me first remind everybody that you're listening to WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Joshua Umahi joined by Frantz Compere and Ross Levine. Thank you once again for listening. Wherever you're listening to us, whether it's your car radio, traditional radio, whatever, your old boombox from back in the day. Listen to us also on ntcradio.org, the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, AUDACY, and the WHPC app. Also on the Facebook Live, you can watch our live reactions to some of the takes and some of the stuff going on in the studio. You can finally put some faces to the names. Man, the vibes is immaculate, not just with the Knicks, but in the studio as well. Got some good vibes in here. Also good vibes in Brooklyn. Real quick, I want to shout the Brooklyn Nets out. I hate to do it, but they went 2-0 over the weekend too. And they weren't the only team to shock Boston this weekend. The Nets were down 28 points on Friday night.
Wow.
And Mikal Bridges and company came back and put
belt to cheeks
on the Celtics. And that leprechaun in the center court in front of the Boston fans. I mean, Mikal Bridges, 38 points in that game. Cam Johnson chipped in 20 points. So that trade from the Kevin Durant deal making or working out for the Nets in their favor with those two. Also from the Mavs, Dinwiddie and Finney Smith, 17 points apiece. Then you fast forward to Sunday. Mikal Bridges chipped in another 33 points as the Nets beat the Hornets at Barclays Center, 102-86. I mean, Mikal Bridges, and we kind of look at it, I still think it's kind of a bad return in terms of what the Suns, or what the Nets got back from the Suns for Kevin Durant. But Mikal Bridges, I'm telling you, budding young superstar, not superstar, but budding young star in this league.
They're you know what it is, though? They're likable players. Like, they're likable to now root for. They play hard, and also they don't have the headlines around the team. So there's a more appreciation, I'll say, to when I watch them play. Like, it's not like it's. I'm not making fun of them anymore because they actually are trying to build this the right way now. So I give them credit for that. It's not easy to get rid of superstars, so I should give them a little bit of credit. I don't like them, but I don't like them as much. I hate them less.
Right.
And shoot, Mikal Bridges, I forgot which one of these games it was, but he put on like a perfect first half. I think he went like 9 for 9 from the field, and he had a good chunkage of the Nets points throughout the game as well. So hats off to Mikal Bridges because he's been doing his thing. So I'm happy to see him go crazy.
That's a great piece. The Nets, if they keep him, they can build around. And it's funny, they swap out Kevin Durant for another killer from the mid-range, Mikal Bridges. Mm-hmm. He's definitely doing his thing. So good to see from that standpoint with the Brooklyn Nets. But the big story over the weekend with the NBA, this guy Ja Morant.
I couldn't wait to talk about this.
Come on, man.
I couldn't wait to talk about this.
Can I just say that I ripped this guy a lot. Yeah. But the one thing you could say is at least RJ Barrett is on the court. So that's the one thing you could say. Yeah. I kill him on the court, but at the very least he's on the court.
Oh, yeah, Ross, I'm extremely thankful that Ja Morant, or actually RJ Barrett, isn't flashing guns on Instagram Live like Ja Morant.
He plays. At least he plays.
Listen.
He's not doing that stuff.
I feel so strongly about this because my dad has always talked sense into me. And I know Ja Morant has a father figure in his life that's talking sense into him.
Extremely present, by the way, too.
Exactly. So for you to be, I know you're your own person at the end of the day, but you got to always remember you're doing it for the last name on your back. Every time you leave your front doorstep, every time you enter a building, you're representing your whole family. So what is this? Not only are you looking bad for yourself, but you're like, people are probably thinking, with a present father in your life, what is he teaching you? What example was he for you? And I feel like that's a slap in the face. But I also feel strongly about this because I seen Paul Pierce come out and say, oh, when I was younger, I had to make sure I was safe too. Or because I had a name, I had money, But you weren't on Instagram Live flashing off your little handgun. It's a difference. Nobody's saying Ja Morant can't own something to protect himself. Because, shoot, I'm all for it. But don't go out there and show these things off recklessly. It's like you're glorifying it. Now it's not something for safety. Now it's something to look cool. And you can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? People already probably look at you crazy because you have dreads, you have grills, you know what I'm saying? You have tattoos. Yep. People already see you as a threat. Now you're glorifying a lifestyle that you don't have to. You make millions of dollars. Your family's set up for life. You have an opportunity to create generational wealth. Nobody ever has to struggle with your last name again. But now you're glorifying a lifestyle that even the people within the lifestyle are trying to escape. People within a treacherous lifestyle, they don't want to live it. They do it because they have to. Man. And you don't have to.
So, man, listen, I could not have said it better. And, I didn't come from that troubled neighborhood type of area myself. Mm-hmm. But I do know a lot of people that did go through certain things like that. And one thing they always tell me, once you make it out, once you get a great job or you move to a better neighborhood or you set your family up for better success, there's no part of you that wants to go back. Ja Morant's confusing me because he has the $200 million contract. He has the Nike deal. He has the Powerade deal. He has so much going for him. He's on a great young team in Memphis, and it seems to me like he wants to go back and wants to keep the same company that he did in his previous life. But when you're leveling up, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Do you think he ever plays for Memphis again? I'm not sure.
He does, because one thing I wanted to bring up is that Memphis has a lot to lose here, and Ja Morant does too. Obviously, they're going to call it strike one, even though he's had a number of incidents here.
Boy.
They're going to call it strike one because, number one, he's a great young superstar. Number two, the NBA, it's not just Memphis. The entire NBA, the NBA front office, Adam Silver is looking at everything going on like, you got to be kidding me. This kid, we're trying to make him the face of the NBA. Like Frantz said, you already have the dreads, you already have the tattoos, and obviously we know it's more normalized now, but with a lot of the older fans in basketball, that's not really what you want in the face of the NBA.
Yeah.
So you have all that going for you, and you still have people that want to make you the face of the NBA, plaster your face everywhere, and you're messing it up.
To me, it would be a distraction if in the locker room. That's my concern. That's why I don't know.
Ross, you're 100% right in a regular locker room, but we know the Memphis Grizzlies. They are far from a regular locker room. I mean, they got Dylan Brooks up in there.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks, a little Fruit Loop. He be bugging himself.
Crazy.
And you know, Desmond Bain likes to disrespect the king. He's a little buck wild young boy. So, I don't know. Maybe the only person in that locker room with some sense is probably only...
Amber Alert?
Hold on.
That's not even me.
What's going on here? The world ending?
That's not even my phone.
What's going on? I think it's a studio.
Nah, they're trolling us.
Yeah. Is it an emergency on campus?
They don't want to see us win.
Nah.
I don't know. My phone's not bugging, but maybe the only person in the locker room with some sense is probably head coach.
Yeah.
He released that statement where he's like, Ja got to get his mind right and all that. He knows what he did is wrong, but I don't know who got some sense in that locker room.
Man, listen. Obviously, just to recap everybody, he was suspended by the Grizzlies for, quote, at least 2 games after Ja went live on Instagram, posted a video in a Denver nightclub holding a handgun, shirtless too, just not a good look. NBA announced before that suspension that they would be investigating Ja Morant. And now today, right before we went on air, Colorado PD announced today that they are investigating Morant's actions and whether he may have broken any laws. I mean, you got to start thinking about gun laws, and then they take it on the plane, too. There are some serious things with Ja Morant right now. So Ross may say that maybe he won't play another game for the Memphis. I think that's an overreaction, but he's got a lot of heat on him.
It's going to be a slap on the wrist.
I think so, too.
Anytime I hear the word laws...
Could you try again?
Oh, Siri, give me a break, man. Keep going, Ross.
Anytime I hear the word about laws, I'm never confident when it comes to a guy coming back and be like, oh, everything's good. I'm not confident in that. Because it's this distraction. I know it's Memphis, but still, like that's I find it hard to believe. It's very rare that everything's fine. Because it's not fine. Let's be honest. You're talking about breaking laws.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to clean up his image and clean it up quick. And you got to watch the company you keep. And that's a lesson for everybody. When you're leveling up in life, that company you kept when you were down and out is not the company you need to be keeping for the most part when you're leveling up. And Ja Morant, that's a lesson for you, my boy. You got to clean things up.
What do you think would have happened to Melo if the NBA didn't put a stop to him? You think it would have been a classic Ja Morant story?
There was a podcast clip. Carmelo Anthony was on one of the podcasts, one of the popular NBA podcasts, and he was saying that David Stern, and this is where I kind of criticize Adam Silver, because David Stern was talking to Melo like, if you want to mess this up, like, I know where your friends live, I know where you stay at, I know what time your friends wake up, I know what time you get up, talking like he's the Godfather.
I know what you eat for breakfast.
Exactly, but that's the kind of disciplinarian David Stern was.
Yeah.
I don't know if Adam Silver got that dog on him. To be honest with you, I don't.
Maybe he doesn't.
The fact that he let this Ja Morant stuff go this far, to where now he might lose sponsorships and he's flashing guns on Instagram Live? That's crazy.
It's bad look.
So somebody got to get in his ear for sure. But to move on to some NBA news and notes, Memphis lost without Ja last night. The Clippers got their first win in the Westbrook era. They're now 1-4 with Russell Westbrook. 135-129, they got it done. On Saturday night primetime and on ABC, the Bucks' 16-game winning streak got snapped by the Sixers. So, it's Eastern Conference is definitely looking interesting. The Sixers are rising up now. The Suns beat Ross's Mavs 130-126. I was watching this game in the bar, absolutely blasted. And before you get on me, I'm a 25-year-old college student, right? I can have some fun on the weekends. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving all went for 30+ as Kevin Durant hit the game-winning mid-range shot, and Devin Booker and Luka Doncic got a little testy before the game ended. I don't know. Luka said after the game, me personally, I wouldn't wait until 3 seconds left to start talking. So, there's no love lost there. But the Mavs, they're now they're 2-5 with Luka and Kyrie together. So, not what you want.
Both of your star players go over 30 points, and I'd still take a L.
They're not playing no defense over in Dallas.
No.
I know, and Jason Kidd from the New Jersey Nets days. That's driving him crazy.
Yeah.
He's just disgusted by the Mavs' effort on defense.
When you spell Dallas Mavericks in the topic sheet, you gotta put a lowercase d.
Yeah, because
no defense, and they're not laying the wood on their opponents
at all.
They're not
at all. 2-5 is not what you want. Lakers beat the Warriors, and Steph Curry, the defending Finals MVP, returned to the court. Anthony Davis, another 30-point masterclass. The Lakers got it done without LeBron James, still out with that foot injury. Moving on to the NFL. Jets fans, I told you, listen, you can play with the Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson sweepstakes all you want. You better not end up with nobody. One quarterback's already off the board now. The first quarterback in the carousel this offseason, the first shoe kind of dropped. Derek Carr signed a 4-year deal with my New Orleans Saints. Now, 4 years, $150 million. That's 37.5 annual value millions per year. $100 million fully guaranteed. $60 million due at signing with a no-trade clause. It's a big-time price my Saints paid to get a quarterback in the room. But listen, Carr was previously reported to be favoring the Jets, not the Saints, by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on Friday. So the Jets, we know they aren't going to get Derek Carr. Ross, you think this is a good move for my Saints? What you think? Be honest.
For 2-3 years, yes. I don't think it's good for you long term. I really don't. I think Carr's going to get caught in like 3 years. I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry, but I really believe. Listen, he's a good quarterback. Okay, he's never going to win you a Super Bowl. It never happens.
Damn.
He hasn't won a playoff game.
Damn.
I can't. How can I pick the guy to win a Super Bowl? He hasn't won a playoff game. He's the only reason he'll make the playoffs is because he's in a crappy, and I mean a crappy division. Look at the division. Division stinks. Tampa Bay. That team's not going to be the same without Tom.
Oh, you think Kyle Trask can't get it done, Ross?
Oh, my God. Carolina? Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
I mean, listen, you're not wrong. I know Derek Carr hasn't had a lot of playoff success. Obviously, I compare it to the Matthew Stafford thing with the Rams. Now, before I get any deeper into it, Stafford's better than Carr, right?
Yeah.
But they got a veteran quarterback in a losing situation, perennial losing situation. They get him in a winning organization with Los Angeles. Now, the Saints had their first losing season since 2016.
Yeah.
So before this season, they were a winning organization. They're betting on the same thing. Reunite Derek Carr with the coach that drafted him, Dennis Allen, who I'm not high on. Everybody knows that. But I'm living in reality with this news. I think that a lot of Saints fans want the team to tank, get a young quarterback next year. It's just not the case. Dennis Allen's in a win-now situation. He needed a win-now quarterback. He got Derek Carr in a lousy division and a lousy conference, if you want to be real. Eagles, 49ers, who else?
That's it.
That's it right now. So Jets won't be getting Carr. The Saints got him. We'll see where the Jets go from here. We'll talk about a Rodgers trade possibly and a Lamar Jackson franchise tag situation tomorrow. But I did want to get to Daniel Jones.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so the franchise tag deadline is on Tuesday. The Giants are reportedly working on a long-term $40 million or more per year deal with Daniel Jones before the deadline. And Jones' agents actually traveled to Jersey today with reports swirling around that the Giants are, quote, within hours from a Daniel Jones deal. And also, Daniel Jones' agents and the Giants have closed the gap, quote, significantly, end quote, in contract negotiations. Now, obviously, both of you guys are Giants fans. How are you feeling about this news?
I'm upset. I think he's being greedy.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's unfair to the team, and I think it's a slap in the face to Dable, because Dable came into a bad situation, and he made people at least respect Daniel Jones just a little bit again, because Daniel Jones wasn't getting that respect by himself and the trash head coaches he had previously. Dable came in and he made people see even just a little bit of bright light within Daniel Jones's game. And this is how he repays them, by being greedy. It's like, what are you being greedy for? Even if you do get 30 M's, you and your family are fine. You're nowhere near poverty. What do you want 45 for? So you can buy like an extra pair of cleats,
against the wall.
7 fishing hooks just to use 2? 30,000 hats just to wear 5? What do you need all this extra money for?
You're not that good, buddy.
Hey, and you didn't even put up a great season to get this money.
22 total touchdowns. So yay.
Oh my God. Like, it's like, it's blasphemy what this man is doing right now.
I've watched every Giants game. Our offense is ugly. It's not good. It's
not what you want.
It's not what you want. Listen, I was at week 2 against the Panthers. That was ugly.
My God.
It was ugly. We couldn't score touchdowns.
We came out, we got 3 first drive?
We had okay. So the first thing that happened, the kickoff, we kicked off to them, they fumbled it. Carolina,
yes.
We got the ball. We only had a field goal. Couldn't score. And then the next play, Carolina fumbles it again. We only get a field goal out of it.
Like,
that's us.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you want $45 million. You know what Pat Mahomes would have did? He would have got the ball and he would have punched it through the end zone right into the locker room. That's how good the Kansas City Chiefs are with Patrick Mahomes. You would have punched it through the end zone.
Oh, man. Well, I asked the question. Clearly, the Giants fans in the room aren't thrilled about Daniel Jones reportedly getting a long-term deal before tomorrow's deadline, but
at the right price.
Just let him go. I don't understand.
We'll see what happens on that front, and obviously, as we're running out of time here, we'll get to a lot more of the NFL news and notes from the offseason, the scouting combine, tomorrow and throughout the week here on WHPC Sports Talk, but we will call it a show for today. And for Frantz Compere and Ross Levine, this is Joshua Umahi, thanking you once again for listening to WHPC Sports Talk and 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College.